Hello, welcome to my Sunday matinee. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold card using the great dress-up framelits and Vintage Verses stamp set. And on the inside I've also used the Vintage Verses. So we've got "There's only one you," wishing you a day as perfect as you are. This will be for a special person. Okay, let's get started. All of the dimensions and scoring will be shown at the end of the video, so you don't need to stop and try and write everything down. We're going to start by scoring at 4 1/4 and 8 1/2, and this cardstock is 4 1/4 by 11, so it's a half a sheet the tall way. Then we're going to fold on our fold lines, and I like to use my bone folder to get a good crisp fold. And fold this one down. Okay. And then on my card I used the needlepoint embossing folders. I just love these little elements. They add that little extra to your card. So we're going to use the scalloped one. And I wanted to show you this because it's a little bit tricky. Anytime you're using Stampin' Up's embossing folders, when you want your image to be raised on the front of your card, you're going to want to make sure you put it on your card so that you can read the logo. So I'm going to set this right on the edge of my rich raspberry cardstock, and because these are too long to run through the machine this way, we have to run them through the machine this way. And as you can see, my card is too long to get through there. So I'm actually going to fold it over to do this. You're going to want to open up both of your tabs when you have that extra cardstock in there. We've got 2 extra layers of cardstock in there. So I'm going to open up both tabs when I run it through. And normally we would only open up 1 tab to run an embossing folder through. It's going to be a little tight. It's okay. Okay, there we go. And then we've got just this adorable little edge there. I think that just adds that extra something special to your card. Those are the needlepoint folders in the Spring Mini Catalog. And then I also used the, whoops, I dropped one. Hang on. Let me find it. I also used the Dress Up framelits. This is just adorable, and I have to tell you, I ordered the framelits out of the spring catalog. I didn't order the stamp set, but I'm sure that I'm going to have to get it now that I've been playing with them. We've also got a card pop and cut base, and a dress form that you can also get a die for. So those are really fun items. I'm sure I'm going to have all of them before this catalog is over because I've had so much fun. So I chose to use these 2 framelits, and I've already die cut those. And how I did my dress. Here you have your full dress, and I only needed the bodice. So I'm just going to cut this off right at the waist. You can use this for something else or die cut another bodice out of it. And then I also didn't need the legs on my form, on my dress form. So this is how we started. And then I took our little doilies. These are wonderful. You get 24 of them in a pack. You have to be careful when you take them apart. It seems like you only have 1, but then when you start folding it up, you notice that you have 2. They're very, very thin, which makes them easy to use. So what I did with my doily is I folded it over so it's just a little bit of this solid image is sticking out. So I folded it like that, and then I'm going to fold it in a little triangle over here, and then you're going to bring the other side all the way over to this edge. And there I have my little skirt for my dress. I wanted my dress to have some sponging on it. So I took my rich raspberry ink, and I just wanted the sponging around the die cut edge. So I'm just going to put some sponging on there. And be careful because these are delicate. They're doilies. Open this up a little bit. And then I'm going to do the inside right here. Just wanted a little color added to mine. Okay, so there's our skirt. Voila! Now, I love using our Tombow liquid glue. As you can see, it's it's been well used. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the top here, and I like this because you can move it around until it dries a little bit instead of tearing your project. So I'm going to put my dress bodice on there just so it meets at the waist here, and then I like to look at the back and make sure that I have it fairly straight because I don't want my skirt like womping to one side or the other. You like that word? I like to make up my own words. Okay, and then here's our dress form. So again, I'm going to use a little glue on here and glue this right down onto our form. And again, I want to look at the back and make sure that I have it fairly straight. Everything's pretty centered there. So yay, that's fun. Okay, we're going to do some more sponging here. I've just got this sheet so I don't get my paper messed up. Again, rich raspberry ink. I've got a piece of vanilla taffeta ribbon, and this is just perfect to be able to sponge in any color you want. I love that we can do this and make what we need. I'm going to do both sides just in case the back side sticks out there. Okay, so there we have our ribbon, and next we're going to do a couple of these flowers. This is the 5/8 inch flower trim. It comes in vanilla, and I absolutely love it. You get 2 yards of this. It goes so far. And I'm just taking my sponge and sponging the top of 2 flowers. We're going to use 2 flowers on this card. Oh, I've got ink everywhere. How pretty is that? Okay, I'm going to cut a flower off, and then I'll cut this flower off for the card front later. And as long as we're sponging, I've stamped my verse here. There's only one U. I just stamped it on a strip and then cut the little divot in the end. This is from the Vintage Verses stamp set. This is free during celebration, ladies. When you place a $50 order, you can get that for free, as is the paper that we're using here. This is part of the Sycamore Street designer paper that's available during celebration. I'm just going to lightly sponge the edges. You always do this just like you're sanding a piece of wood. You kind of sand like this. Okay. We've got that. Now I'm going to put the ribbon on. And I like to use mini glue dots for that. That seems to work really well for me. So we're going to do a little mini glue dot right in here. Let me find one. There we go. Right there, and it just sticks right to your project. And I kind of wanted to do a little bit of that. And see how I kind of maneuvered that so it goes where I want it? And I'm going to do one more glue dot right here. And there's my ribbon. Cute, easy. Glue dots are our friends. I'm going to trim this up a little bit with my Stampin' Up! Scissors. I love these babies. They cut like butter. If you don't have good scissors, you need a pair of these. Okay. And then one more mini glue dot for our flower. And I'm going to put that a little bit off to the side. How cute and simple is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I have ink all over my fingers. I apologize for that. Okay, so we have our dress done and ready to roll. The other little flower, and I've got a glue dot stuck to my finger here, is going to go right on the edge of our greeting. Just like this. Okay? So I've cut a piece of our designer series paper, and I'm going to stick that. This is 4x4, by the way. I'm going to stick that right to the front under the fold of my card. And now for the fun fold part of this. You're going to take your 2.5 inch circle punch, and on the smaller flap, right on the score line, you're going to push your circle punch all the way in. Maybe it's giving me a little trouble there. And you're going to center it. So just so your little score line is right in the center there. And here we have our little circle cutout. And I've taken our 2 3/8 inch scallop punch and 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And I'm going to adhere this right inside here. So I wanted this to be centered right in that circle. So it's glued to this piece, but you need to make sure that it's going to fit in there. The other thing I like to make sure about is that my card is only going to be 5.5 inches tall, and it is. Because if it's more than 5.5, it won't fit in a standard envelope. So you want to make sure your scallop isn't bigger than that. And if you score in the right place, it shouldn't be. You should come out just fine with that. Okay, here comes our dress. This is just so fun. And I want to make sure that my flower is going to be sticking out through my little hole here. Okay, and then make sure my dress is straight. Whoops. The magic of glue. Yes, you can move it. There we go. Adorable so far. We're going to use some dimensionals to make this greeting pop up. Oh, that was lucky. I've got one here without a backing on it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put that right on the front here. Make sure I get it straight. That'll make me crazy. Cool. So far, so good. And last but not least, I've taken the Perfectly Pen set. This is a great greeting set. I love it. And it's very elegant looking. I've taken this for my inside. On my first card I made, I used the Vintage Verses. This one I wanted to be a birthday card. And that also is 4x4. I'm just going to glue this. Oops, I got that crooked. But see, no big deal because we can move it. Okay, so here's the inside of our fun fold card. Who doesn't love a fun fold card? Here's the other one we did where I used the Vintage Verses. Now, last but not least, I want to add just a little bit of bling to my card. So I'm going to pick out 5 pearls. That seems to be just the great amount to go on the neckline of my dress form. I like to use my paper piercing, I call it my pokey tool, to position these because it just makes it easier to work with. Cute! And then last but not least, I've got 2 more little embellishments that I'd like to do. I want to put a pearl right at the bottom of my greeting here, and right in these little filigrees or swirly deals. Okay, pearl, can you see that? All these little details. Super easy card. You can visit my blog for more photos, and I will have the dimensions and scoring lines at the end of this video and also on my blog at astampabove.typepad.com. Thanks for joining me.